Hi Aquarius, it is Maggie the Irish Gypsy, and this is your reading for the month of September 2019. We are looking at the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th. This is for Aquarius Sun, Rising, Moon sign, Venus sign, and those of you who are watching for someone else who is an Aquarius. General readings always resonate a little differently for everybody watching though, so make sure to watch your other sign videos if you know them, whether it's your sun, your rising, or your moon sign, because it can provide additional clarification for you. Thanks to everyone for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers. Thanks for those of you who take the time to tune into this channel, for all your likes, shares, and subscribes, and thanks to all of my clients out there too for continuing to keep me so busy, and for so many of you returning time and time again. It's always an honor and a pleasure. And as many of you who follow me know, if you are interested in setting up a personal reading with me, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details. Email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I can usually return initial inquiries with more info within the same day or the first 24 hours. And scheduling the reading is done in a pretty timely fashion too. I'm very blessed to be able to do readings full-time, 6 days a week. Sometimes a little more. So I'm pretty diligent at working with both your schedule and mine to set up readings as quickly as we can. So if you're interested, message me, send me an email, and we'll set something up for you. I offer a wide variety of readings in all of the main areas of life. Okay, let's move right into this reading. Aquarius, this is for you for the first half of September 2019. Let's see what the first half of the month of September has in store for you. All right, Aquarius, we begin with Strength, followed by the Four of Pentacles. We have the Six of Cups, followed by Temperance. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and focus and advice is the Eight of Cups. And right behind that is the Two of Cups as well. So it looks like for a lot of you, you have two cards here, both the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups, that are often traditionally referred to as the soulmate cards. And it does look like an underlying energy for you is that karmic connection that you feel with somebody else. This is the card that represents, you know, the karmic connection between you and someone else. A very strongly connected relationship. And when I say relationships come in all different forms. So this could be a romantic relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. This could be a best friend or family member, but somebody you feel very connected to. It doesn't always mean a positive connection all of the time either. But it does represent that you feel that strong bond with them. There's something that keeps drawing the two of you back together again. And I feel like this is someone that you've known probably for quite some time, because the Six of Cups is a card that often references the past, sometimes travel in regards to the past too. Now the past can reference roots of origin, parents, where you grew up, childhood friends, childhood sweethearts, people, places, or situations that you have a historical connection to. There's the weight of time and history between the two of you. So because it looks like this is centered around a strong relationship or connection that you have with someone else, for many of you this is going to be somebody that you have a history with, regardless of the nature of the relationship. And the overall energy is the Eight of Cups, which is often a card that points to walking away, leaving something behind, which has maybe been a bit disappointing and disillusioning. It doesn't always represent a complete break, though, with somebody, although that may be something that you might be considering. Not all of these cups are tipped over and spilled out. However, this person has turned their back and they're getting ready to walk away because they're dressed for travel. They have their hat on, their cloak on, their walking staff in their hands, and their back is turned to what these cups represent, which is likely this relationship. But again, some of the cups are upright. So for some of you, you know, It could be that you are in the midst of a breakup or you just recently went through one. You might still be communicating with this person. It might be that the two of you are taking a break from each other and you need to create some time and distance and separation and space between the two of you while you're working things out or trying to figure out if it's, if you really want to invest the effort to work things out. Sometimes it can represent that you may have made up your mind to leave a relationship that may still have something there for you. It can, I feel quite strongly for many of you that even if you've broken up with this person, or even if you're in the middle of, some separation or distance between the two of you, particularly because you have this karmic connection between the two of you, the upright cups, for those of you for whom that resonates, means that this is something you will be returning to. And that is often what we see with these soulmate connection or kindred spirit karmic connections, is even though there might be time and distance and sometimes even long periods of time between your connection with this person or your actual communication or interaction with this person, it will come back around again. And usually the reasons why there's this karmic connection is because there's something about that connection that helps each of you in different ways to learn and grow and evolve. But it looks like at least in the first half of September, you may have, again, gone through a recent breakup, be in the middle of a breakup, or creating some time and distance to figure out what it is that you want. Or they could be doing that with you as well in terms of who initiated what. It's a general reading, so it's always going to vary a little bit in the details and specifics. But as I say, the energy, the fundamental energy remains the same. So we have strength in the Four of Pentacles here. So strength is about, it's not really so much about physical strength and brawn and muscle. This is a strength that comes from facing things that we are afraid of, facing fears, doubts, insecurities. It's a card that can also represent, wrestling with our shadow selves, which is just a dramatic way of looking at the aspects of ourselves that perhaps we don't like to look at, that we don't like about ourselves, that we wouldn't want other people to look at, wrestling with our demons, bad habits, patterns of doing things, historical behavior choices that we make because we're afraid of something, staying within the wrong relationships that we know are wrong because we're afraid of being alone, or we're afraid that we won't find, that connection again. It takes a lot of strength to go through that process. I think that there's probably not much that's more difficult than looking at the things that we're afraid of, looking at the aspects of ourselves that we don't like or that we're afraid of, facing fears perhaps of being alone or not being able to find the connection, or if we feel like this is our soulmate or someone that we have that strong connection to, we may feel that at this time we need to have some separation, and we're not sure maybe if we're going to come back around again or have the opportunity again. And it's about facing all of those things that we're afraid of. It takes a lot of strength and wisdom and humility and insight to do this, and courage, but that's also what we gain more of by going through this process. I often say, and I truly believe, that fear is the mother of courage, because that's what births courage. We have to have something that we're afraid of in order to summon up the courage and strength to face it and to move through it, as this woman has. She has done that. She has tamed this lion, whatever it represents within yourself, and she is moving forward fearlessly. She's in motion, moving forward with her head held high, into the future. Now, clarifying that is the Four of Pentacles, which is a card of holding on very tightly. In terms of finances and money, this can reference being frugal, needing to be very economical, holding on to every penny you have. In an emotional sense, this can represent being closed off, being guarded, being vigilant, wanting to hold on to what you have because it makes you feel stable and secure. The Four of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy. That's the element which governs the sign. And the Suit of Pentacles is about that earth energy area of our life. Things that make us feel stable and secure in the actual structure of our life, which can be money, finance, property, real estate, assets, job. In relationships, it would be perhaps the relationship itself. It's a card of holding on to what you have because you don't want to lose. Sometimes this card shows up sometimes I see this card show up for clients who hold on very tightly to everything they have because they've lost a lot in the past, or they've had losses that have impacted them significantly, and it makes them hold on to what they have just that much more tightly, sometimes a little too tightly. Now this is what clarifies strength. So this is, therein we have this it gives us this insight, this clue as to what it is that we need to face, this fear. You know, for those of you that have gone through recently a breakup, or are going through one, or are in a space where you're considering that, it looks like the fears that you have to look at are, you know, are you holding on to it? Are you holding on to it too tightly? If it is, what is it that you're afraid of? If you're in a relationship that you feel is not good for you, it's asking yourself, what is it that you're holding on to that you feel makes you safe and stable in this relationship, that you couldn't provide for yourself being by yourself, or freeing yourself and then moving into a space where you're open to something new, a new relationship of some kind, whether again it's romantic or friend or familial as well. It could even be in business, work, and career, because the Two of Cups fundamentally represents a really good match, a good union between two things that feels right on a variety of different levels that aren't always visible or tangible. So it could be, you know, making that decision in terms of a job or a career path as well. And then we have the Six of Cups and Temperance. So the Six of Cups can also represent looking at something through rose-colored glasses, which children often do. And it is sitting right next to the Strength card too. So perhaps this is part of what you need to work on within any relationship issues, whether you're still in a relationship or whether there's been a breakup or a separation. Particularly when we're looking at a breakup or the possibility of a breakup, we tend to sometimes often focus looking back on only the positive aspects and trying to look at the negative aspects through rose-colored glasses, which means we're not really actually looking at the reality. We're only focusing on the positive aspects and not the reality of everything perhaps that was wrong or broken within this relationship as well. And it also does point to the connection and perhaps the history that you have with this other person. Temperance is about balance. Temperance is about being grounded in the middle. My favorite analogy for temperance is being in the middle of a seesaw or a teeter-totter. When you're in the middle, being in the middle, particularly mentally and emotionally, represents you being grounded. You know who you are, you know what your value is, you know what you want, you know what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not, standing in your truth, more or less. Now, those outside arms of the teeter-totter represent things that we often have no control over: other people, other people's actions, external situations coming in. They affect us. They can make us we have to shift back and forth to keep our balance when they come in. But as long as we stay in the center, we're most likely not to fall off our grounding and forget who we are and what our value and worth is. When we step off of that and get involved too heavily, too obsessively, or in an unhealthy, unbalanced way, then we lose that center and we lose our balance. The Four of Pentacles is living, for those of you for whom you're holding on too tightly out of fear, the Four of Pentacles represents that you're actually holding on to the fear, and that's what's keeping you in an unhappy, imbalanced situation, because temperance represents the opposite of that, which means that this man really needs to open his arms and let the pentacles fall where they may in order to regain a sense of balance. I've heard often different variations of, we only show the level of our true ownership over something by how willing we are to share it or to give it away or let it go. There's different variations of that. You know, if you love something, set it free, that whole sort of thing. And I know when you're in the midst of emotional pain or going through a breakup or having difficult times in relationships, sayings like that can sometimes provoke a reaction like, shut up, I don't want to hear that anymore. You know, if I hear one more time, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I'm going to punch them in the face. But these platitudes exist because there's truth in them. So I think for the first half of September, Aquarius, it's about taking this time, whether you've broken up with someone or walked away from this relationship or partnership, or whether you're creating some space to do so, whether you're thinking, whether this space is just in your head. I think what's important and what's coming through from Spirit here is that you need to take the time to look at what are you holding on so tightly to within this connection. And why are you holding on so tightly? Holding on tightly, we do that because we're afraid. We're afraid of losing. But what is it? Not just the other person's presence, but what that actually represents for us and what we're afraid of letting go of, because we're afraid of what might be on the other side. And having the strength and courage to actually look at that head on. And sometimes we find the fears are valid and sometimes they're not. It's kind of like, you know, thinking there's a boogeyman under the bed, and you finally summon up the courage to kind of flip the blanket up and look under the bed. And sometimes there's things under there that need to be dealt with and cleaned out. And sometimes what you think is the boogeyman is just nothing but that, you know, your old shoe that the dog chewed up and you forgot about, and it's just dust bunnies under the bed. But we never know until we summon up the strength and courage to actually look that right in the face and expose it to the light. So that is the advice coming through for you for the first half of September 2019, Aquarius. So that's your reading for the first couple of weeks of September. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful and useful, that you were able to get something useful out of it. If this reading resonated for you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something in your life or for any of the videos, please feel free to click on the description link below and contact me to schedule a personal reading. You can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I offer a wide variety of readings of all different types and lengths in love and romance, relationship compatibility, career work and finance, investment, 6 and 12-month life overviews, which take a look at what's coming in your life over the next 6 or 12 months, and gift readings as well for friends, family, and loved ones, and a variety of other things. So if you're interested, send me an email and I'd be happy to set something up with you in as timely a fashion as possible. And I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September 2019 mid-month readings. And until then, Aquarius, as always, I wish you much joy and blessings and peace, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.